We could talk about the one thing that you need to do to make this a habit and make it stick. And that is find the right time. I'm sorry. My bad. Whatever. I was debating whether or not to tell you, but I'll just say I was having imposter syndrome. Whatever. It's fine. I could talk about this. It's okay. Anyway, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. So let's just get into it. Over these last 3 months, I have been journaling pretty consistently almost every single day. And I've noticed a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. So if you have been deciding whether or not you should start journaling or maybe even pick it back up, I thought that by reflecting on my experience would give you some insight on whether or not journaling is right for you. And spoiler alert, it most likely is. While not exactly being a direct benefit from journaling, I've noticed that ever since I have started, I have developed a routine. My mornings go something like this. My alarm will go off at around 7 a.m. and I wake up, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I get dressed, obviously, and then I go to the kitchen to make my morning cup of coffee. And while I wait for that to brew, I take a couple of moments to write down and journal what happened to me the day before and how I felt about it. Did I have any meaningful thoughts while I was at work or while I was hanging out with a particular person? Or did I see anything interesting when I went on my run and it made me think about something else? Honestly, if there was anything remotely relevant or interesting or funny that I think was worth writing down, I would just write it down. And so I would frame my morning, or more specifically, the first hour of my day around this act. There was something really nice about having a set time in the day that was just for me. I liked that by journaling every single morning, I was much less likely to use my phone, and it just really put me in a good mindset and a good mood to take on the rest of my day. Journaling has also made me really appreciate the act of writing. This is gonna sound stupid, but I started to look forward to just the motion of having my hand move a pen and put words on a page. There's just something so pleasing about the tactile experience of putting pen to paper and seeing words that you want to write materialize. And I can't speak for journaling electronically, like with an iPhone or a laptop, but there's something so nice about having a physical manifestation about how you feel and when you felt it. I have in front of me two journals, one that took me about 2 years to, that's not even true, hold on. This one took me 2 years to finish writing, and it wasn't until the very end that I started writing almost every single day and started writing like this 3-month journey. And I just think it is so cool that with this one in particular, I can go and flip to any random page. This one is 12/13/23. And I can go back and see what December 2023 Jose felt and why he felt that way. When you think about it, journaling is in a sense time travel, or at the very least being able to look at a crystal ball. It's a magical experience and you have access to it. You just need to write. Journaling has helped me establish routine. It has helped me see that I really appreciate writing and I would love to be a better writer. But I think the biggest influence that it has had on me is show me the areas of my life where I see that I have been stagnant and I need to move. When I started to journal every single day, I started to notice that I was writing about the same things over and over, and I was not happy about these things that I was writing about. By being able to sit down and reflect on the kind of person that I am and the kind of person that I want to be, I was able to see the difference between those two people and be able to make a roadmap for what I think is the quickest and most efficient way to get to where I want to go. And I don't think this would have been possible if I didn't have a collection of the thoughts and processes that I was going through day after day. Right? If I kept seeing that, oh, I want this, oh, I want this, oh, I want this, or oh, I want to change that, how could I ignore it? Maybe you have noticed that your day-to-day is so different and sporadic, and you could use a little bit more structure in your life. Or in this world that is becoming increasingly more and more technological, you could do without a screen for a couple of hours and just go back to pen and paper and see where your imagination and thoughts take you. Or maybe you really want to have this deep, meaningful reflection that can allow you to ultimately change your whole life trajectory. If any of these things sound at all interesting to you, I would really encourage you to take journaling a try. But Jose, how am I supposed to start journaling? I don't even know the first thing about it. I didn't want to answer that question because I really think that journaling is such an individualized and unique experience that there is no one right answer. So what you might see about how someone else started, it might work for them, but it might not work for you. What I would love to do, however, is share with you the things that I did to help develop and stick with this habit. Before we talk about what you could do to get into the habit of journaling, let's talk about what you should avoid. Journaling should not feel like work. It should not be something that you start and try to finish as soon as you possibly can, or something that you're putting putting off and off and off until the day is over and there's no time to do it. If you are doing it like that, you're doing it wrong. We could talk about the one thing that you need to do to make this a habit and make it stick. And that is find the right time. I'm sorry. I'm bad. Whatever. I was debating whether or not to tell you, but I'll just say I was having imposter syndrome. Whatever, it's fine. I could talk about this. It's okay. Anyway, the one thing that you need to do is to set a time and an interval that works for you. And it's as simple as that. You can journal whenever the mood strikes and whenever you feel so inclined, or when you have a couple of moments free and you don't really want to be on your phone. But for this to be a habit, you need to find a time that works for you, something that you can stick to day after day. I tried journaling in the morning as one of the very first things that I did when I woke up, as well as in the evening as one of the last things I would do before I go to bed. And I also tried some hybrid stuff in the middle where I would start in the morning and then I would go about my day, and then right before I went to bed, I would journal in the evening. And I didn't like any of that, to be completely honest with you. I really liked journaling in the morning, waking up early, starting early, writing down my thoughts early. It was just a really good way to set up the rest of my day. I loved it. I say the morning because that's what works for me, but it could be different for you. Maybe the middle of the day is the only time that you have for yourself, or you really like to unwind and unpack in the evening, and you like this to be like one of your things that you do before you go to bed as part of your nightly routine. The answers can all vary for all of us, so find the time that works for you. After you have set the time, make sure that it's an interval that works for you. And I feel as though when I say interval, there's two ways that you can take this. There's the length of time in which you are writing for, so X minutes, or there's the interval of pages. So how many pages are you producing from this one journal entry? And I don't think that there's one right way to think about it. Again, it's just whatever floats your boat. I've noticed that for me, it's 1 page. I don't think that there's anything wrong with thinking it one way or the other. You could pick whichever one you like. And to give a number would be pretty difficult because, again, it's a very unique and personalized experience. So again, just do whatever floats your boat. But I think as a general rule of thumb, you should write for an interval where after you finish, you want to keep writing. Whatever that is for you. For me, that just happens to be 1 page. If anyone is interested, I write on a composition. This is not a composition. This is a Moleskine notebook. You can get these at Target for like $30, but you can easily write on a composition notebook. I've just noticed that based on the size of this, 1 page just does enough for me. I find that it is a size where with 1 page, I can write about a couple of different things, and it's big enough to where I can elaborate on it, but it is not big enough to where I could just go on and ramble. So I really need to be intentional about what it is that I want to write and I want to talk about. And with that limited amount of space, I finish and I think, okay, that was good. I could write more, but I'm not going to do it. I could, but I don't want to. If 1 page is too much for you, do half a page. And if half a page is too much, just do 1 really long paragraph. If you have absolutely no idea where to start, I would recommend to just start writing for 5 minutes and see where it goes. I promise you that you'll get the hang of it and you'll want to start writing for more and more and more time. As for what to write about, honestly, it's whatever it is that you want to talk about. I know that there are definitely prompts out there that can give you the framework for how to start and what to write about, but I've honestly never used them, and so I can't really speak on them. When I got my notebook all of those years ago, I did not look up how to write or what kind of prompts I should use. I just wrote in the notebook as if I was speaking to a friend, kind of like what I'm doing now, where I'm talking to the camera, pretending that I'm speaking to you, an actual person. I think that you should write whatever it is that is on your mind. And side note, this is honestly what my creative writing teacher did when I was in high school. I don't know if this is the exact name for it, but there was this exercise that he would give us called swimming, where he would set a certain amount of time and he would just make us write and write and write. Even if you didn't know what you were going to be talking about, you would just write, I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what I'm going to say. This is stupid, whatever it is. And the idea behind it was that eventually an idea would form. There would be a catalyst and you would run with that. And after the time was over, you would go back and you would see what it is that you wrote and see if there was anything viable, anything that was worth exploring or expanding upon. And I thought it was a really good idea. To be completely honest with you, to this day, I still do it. That's where this idea came from. I'm not even joking. Yeah, you don't need to look up prompts or look up anything. Just start writing about what's on your mind. Write anything, even if it's nothing at all. Anyways, that's it from me. But what about you? What do you think? Have I piqued your interest on what journaling is, and are you willing to give it a try? Have you already been journaling? What do you journal about? If so, did you give it up because you thought it was stupid and you haven't noticed any change? Is there anything that you think I should know? Because I've already been talking about the benefits that I have noticed, but it's only been 90 days about. I've only been journaling for 3 months, so I'm sure that there's something more that I could learn. As always, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see you on the next one. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye.